Welcome to PandTha Games. If you're listening on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, links are in the bio below.
Feel free to leave a review and let us know what you guys thought, and if there's any ways we can improve, or if there's anything you guys just want to hear more of. Enjoy the episode, guys.
Thanks. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PandTha Talks, episode 18.
Is it? We didn't.
Yes, I'm right. Episode 18.
I didn't
I'm
check.
kind of proud of that one, actually. I remembered.
I feel like that was a shot in the dark, and you just got lucky.
I had actually checked earlier. I was just trying to see if I'd remembered it. Oh, so it's been a interesting week. I don't know how much you've seen about what's been going on in the in the past couple of weeks in gaming.
I've had a very busy week and have not had the chance to do a whole lot, so I didn't really get the chance to see or even hear about anything.
No problem at all. So just to cover quickly the most basic information, the top topics. Microsoft apparently bringing one of Xbox Series, could be bringing one of Xbox Series X's best features to PC. AI has become so much more prevalent, it's ridiculous. And that's just getting ridiculous. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom has released yesterday, and that is an actual sequel.
Yeah, I saw someone streaming it. Didn't think of anything of it because I never played Legend of Zelda.
Breath of the Wild looked good, but that's about it for me. Unreal Engine update could fix PC games and make gaming MacBooks more likely. And that's pretty much the major stuff that I thought I'd cover, but there are a few other bits and bats in between that I would like to discuss this week. I think we've got a fair bit there, but should hopefully be interesting and not boring as shit. Because, gaming news lately is actually kind of fucking difficult. There's just... You come across it at times.
Reviewing stuff, gaming in general has not done very well.
That's the issue that I've been finding. A lot of gaming in general is just... It's not holding up as well as it did prior to this, but... Yeah, anyways, we'll take a look. So, I'm going to do what I usually do. And share my screen away. And like that. Here we are. First article I thought we'd take a look at. Gaming experts pick the 10 best games ever made.
I can't wait for us to disagree with every single one.
Let's see how this goes, shall we? And it's by someone called Rory, so I'm already in disagreement because there can only be one. Simple as that.
Instantly made me think of an ASDF meme.
I can believe that. Right. The number one spotlight might be a surprise to some. When it comes to the best games, it's pretty much any other medium. When it comes to the best games, it's pretty different to pretty much any other medium, maybe save for books. If you ask someone to pick their favourite movie or song or album or TV show, more than likely you'll get a lot of ums and ahs as they try to talk you down into giving a top 5 or a top 10 instead. When it comes to the best games, chances are much higher that they'll have one specific title in mind. Everyone's best games choice can often feel much more personal and much more memorable because it created a specific reaction within them. This is pretty much common knowledge. It depends on what you like, and you'll have got some sort of fucking connection built to it. But apparently they've asked 300 gaming experts. I don't know what the fuck their qualifications are, but here that we are. From developers to script writers, never mind, to journalists, that's bullshit, and gaming actors. Keanu Reeves is a gaming actor. Keanu Reeves has never played
I feel like
Cyberpunk.
none of these people qualify to say what the best games are.
The devs, maybe.
I mean, the
Script
devs are just
writers,
gonna
possible.
high end their own shit, and you know,
Yeah, don't get me wrong though, there are some developers that don't hold that silly idea that mine's better than any others. They actually look at each game objectively and go, this is good because of this, this, and this. So, apparently they did this to pick out their best games of all time, and finished article racked up to top 100. That sounds about right. Below is the full top 10, but perhaps some perhaps surprising titles missing out on the top spots include Red Dead Redemption 2, number 15, Grand Theft Auto 5, number 48, newest game on the list, Elden's Ring ranks quite high at number 20, still not as good as Red Dead 2 on that one, while the oldest title, 1985 Super Mario Bros. Rocks in at number 96.
I feel like we should talk about those titles that they named there. Like Red Dead and GTA are very known games, but a lot of people like Red Dead is really good, but
Red
GTA
Dead's
for me
phenomenal.
is like really boring now. Like GTA
Yeah,
5, I feel like is awful.
I enjoyed the story once.
Nothing in it makes sense to me. It just like nothing is any source of what should be in a game. Like, it's just boring in general. That's why I've not even bothered touching it. I don't even bother watching it. I know people enjoy it and there's weirdos doing role play stuff, but I personally have never had an interest. As for
See,
Red Dead 2, though, I didn't watch too much of the first one, but I watched an entire playthrough of the second one and I absolutely loved it. The storyline as well, especially the ending, really got me.
oh yeah, I would personally have to argue that in regards to story, Red Dead 2, even with mechanics and just little bits that are in the game that you don't even realize, there's people that still missed a lot of it. Red Dead 2 is the much more technologically superior and story superior game. GTA is just, well, it's GTA, it's mindless fucking slaughter and murder fun. That's all it is.
I would still prefer Saints Row.
Yeah, same here. If it was any good and not.
TikToks I constantly see for Red Dead in what you were saying there about little bits and things is how the world develops as you play. And
Exactly.
even if you just stand there watching, like when they're building the train tracks, you can see them hammering in the giant pins they'd hammer into the ground to hold the tracks down, and you can actually see them hammer it in a little bit at a time with every hit, and
Oh
move
yeah.
on to the next one.
It's like if you shoot someone, their body will slowly get more decayed. Doesn't go to
Yeah,
like a severe degree, but just enough to show that it's with age. Stuff like that is really interesting.
yeah.
Elden
As for
Ring,
Elden Ring, I mean, I don't know. Elden Ring was quite a flop in my opinion. Sure, it was high for and mighty for a very short period of time, but there were a lot of people that I feel like had no interest.
yeah. I mean, I've got to mention this because we did talk about it just the other week. That guy, you remember that Let Me Solo Her, who was doing that modded playthrough, where
Yeah,
they're all the final boss.
yeah,
He completed it,
nice.
and I believe, if I remember, I read right, it was about 15 hours.
Jeez,
So that guy has got my fucking respect.
you guys spent too much time on that game. That's what.
Oh yeah. 1985 Super Mario Bros. There's nothing that you can say it's a fucking classic.
I have a feeling that the quote unquote experts that they asked may be of a younger generation.
Well, I reckon there's probably some older ones in there, which is
There'll be a
why it
few in
got.
there, and that's why it made it to 96,
Yeah,
but I feel like it's not getting the respect it deserves out of that.
yeah. Right, let's go into an interesting side then, shall we? Top 10. Half Life 2 is number 10. Half Life 2, it kind of saddens me to see it there because that was pretty much what advanced FPS games.
Yeah, I mean, you can mention Half Life 2 to anyone, and they'll do nothing but talk absolute gold about it.
Oh, 100%. I honestly do love the Half Life franchise. I mean, there was that fan made game to remake Black Mesa, just called Black Mesa, and seeing everything brought back in full graphics after the events of Half-Life 1, all those years ago now they released, looks fucking stunning, man. Dark Souls. I mean, come on, it's the first of the fucking Souls series. Well, actually, no, it's not. No, it's not, actually. I believe the first of the Souls. Never played it.
No, I think you would already know that I would put my head through a wall if I tried to play Dark Souls.
Yeah, you would. Sad as it is to admit, yeah. But yeah, it's a Souls game, there's nothing more to say, really. Portal 2. I'm surprised that ranked higher than Half-Life 2.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Portal games, especially the
Same.
second one, because it just was. I mean, it's rare to see like the following game of a series do better than the one before it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Portal 2, in my opinion, was just so much better. They took Portal 1 and they just continued on from it.
Oh,
It wasn't
100%.
like they tried to make a new game that was supposed to be a sequel. It was just literally an actual sequel. They
Yeah,
just continued on. I absolutely love
100%.
those games.
I honestly really love Portal 2. Number 7. Metal Gear Solid. Have you ever played any of those games?
I played a very small amount of them, and I hated the control scheme.
Yeah, that's the only issue, personally.
So, because of that, I basically have not touched them.
Yeah. The older ones in particular, the control scheme was very clunky. You get used to it with time, but still,
It didn't make sense, man.
Yeah, nowadays it's something you just would not fucking. It'd be a difficulty to go back to, but there's a massive fan base for it. I really enjoyed playing through them personally. I have played through quite a few of them at this point. I'm slowly making my way through all the games in chronological order, which is fucking dodgy because if you try playing chronological orders to the story, number 1 is very late into the game series. Like, the newest game is what I'm currently on because I've then got to go to some of the older games. It's fucking weird. Hideo Kojima, you're good at writing stories. Jesus Christ, stop fucking my mind up, man. Mass Effect 2. I am a big fan of the Mass Effect games. I do have to admit.
There's a fellow that I knew. He loved the Mass Effect games and he did nothing but talk great about them. He played them all on console, I believe.
They are good. The first one, if you can get past the fucking clunky controls, it's great. It's a great game. It's just the controls are fucking appalling. Number 5. Yeah. Number 5, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I love that game.
Some absolutely loves that game. He still plays it. Anytime I'm like at work and we not playing Rust at the time, when I come home and finally get on, I see him playing it usually.
Oh yeah, 100%. That game is phenomenal. But there's just so much going on with it. And there's so many people, even now, they're still playing it. They're still seeing updates for it. It's got a small modding community, but it's just enough, to have some fun with. But yeah, it's a great game nonetheless. Number 4, Bloodborne. Souls game. It was one of the most beloved out of the groups because of the environment and everything else about it. People absolutely adored it. Number 3, Tetris. I can appreciate that.
I love Tetris, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wanting to watch that film about Tetris that's recently come out because it's actually quite true to the original story. And that's what's mental about it.
There's a film for Tetris?
Yeah, it's coming out recently.
Coming out?
I'm not sure. I'd have to quickly check, actually. Tetris release date.
Just do Tetris film.
March 31st, yes, out. But yeah. Anyone that's not played Tetris, what the fuck are you doing? Go and play it. It's really simplistic, really basic, but go play it. Number 2, The Last of Us. Now I fucking disagree.
Mm-hmm. I've I'm looking at these for the number 1 and 2 positions here, and
You see, The Last of Us, I've covered plenty of times in our prior sessions and everything.
yes, we recently covered the emulation on the PC.
Yeah. Oh, that fucking console, that PC port was horrific. But no, I can't get to grips with that game. The story I just find is too slow to actually be interesting. And every time I quit the game at the same time when I go to try it again. And some people will
I
say, "Oh,
never cared for it.
oh, I know what you mean." But some people will go on saying, "Oh, that's why you don't play the PC version. You play the console version." I tried it on the PS3 originally. I've got it on the PS4. I don't own a PS5. I don't plan to own a PS5, so I think I feel like I've gone through enough fucking hoops with it as is.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Isn't this also Sony exclusive?
No, Legend of Zelda is Nintendo exclusive.
Oh, Nintendo, yes, of course. I'm stupid.
Yeah. It's on
I know it
the
was.
Switch.
I know that was a beloved game, dude, but I don't think it's number 1.
Honestly, mechanics wise and everything, it's really, really enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's number one, but I'd say it's high up there. It is good. And
Okay.
the reason I like it is because it can be emulated on your PC. And sitting and playing that on your PC and having fun with it, it's good fun. Mindless fun. And that's what you need sometimes.
I don't think The Last of Us should be there.
No.
I think Half-Life 2, given what it did for just gaming in general, should be higher.
How is that 100? What a game! Jesus Christ. Okay.
Hey, it's vampires.
Number 2, 1999. Return of Obra Dinn. People love that game. 96? How? Fable 2, 93. That saddens me. Wait.
That's the first Mass Effect.
Yeah. You baffled me for a second. GTA 4, 91. That had a compelling story at least. Super Mario Kart, 1992.
Look at the difference in graphics.
I know. That is mental. Hitman: The World of Assassination. I actually think they did phenomenal with that. Last Guardian. Heard a lot about it. Never saw
Dude,
many
the
people
last
playing it.
Guardian blew up for like a month and then just not even to be honest, and then just never heard of again.
Yeah. Super Mario Odyssey.
Why is Mario a dinosaur?
Basically, whatever he throws his hat on, he can become. Yeah, it's weird. Civ 5. Played too much of that. Final Fantasy 15. Yeah.
The fact that Final Fantasy games are still being made, dude.
Yeah. Shenmue. Bioshock Infinite. Fucking hell.
That screenshot's just funny to look at.
Yeah. Dragon Age Origins. What a fucking game. Oh. So many
Ew.
people haven't played it and it saddens me.
Skip it.
Yep. This was a nice game. It was really
Yeah.
chilled out, but it was nice. I don't care if anyone's not played this, play it. It's actually some fun. It's more fun than it has a right to be. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I remember Skate fucking 3. Now that was a game.
Skate 3 is the funniest shit to ever watch, man.
Oh, agreed. Secret of Monkey Island. Pokemon. Metroid Prime. Undertale 74. Yeah, I get that. Final Fantasy. Yakuza 0. Modern Warfare 71. Left 4 Dead 2 70.
Nice.
Thief: The Dark Project. Good old fashioned game, but it really was quite good, to be honest. Fallout New Vegas 66. Can respect that.
Curious where Skyrim is.
Yeah.
On this list, then there's
Something wrong.
This list is false.
Persona 5.
Of course,
Sims
there's The
2.
Sims.
Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, good old game. GTA 3.
I love how the closer to number one we get, the lower name of GTA we see.
This is surprising. Because most people rank Fallout 3 lower on the list than they do Fallout New Vegas. So I'm very surprised to see that. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I'm just going to stop mentioning the series as that we're seeing about 100 times. Inside, yeah, I get that. Hollow Knight, people fucking adore that game. That just looks creepy. I've never even heard of this one. I'm intrigued, but still. Dishonored. I enjoyed the first. The second was quite interesting, but
I see some funny clips of people just getting blasted by a cannon.
Oh yeah. Original Half-Life. Pretty good. Final Fantasy X. Splunky. I've enjoyed more of that game than I should have.
Yeah, started.
That is deserved, to be fair. Not as high as it should be.
Horrible, though. That screenshot's horrible. Where's the efficiency in this?
Yeah. Fucking terrible. Honestly. Just terrible. Stardew is a great game, and this guy needs to accept more money. Yes, I know, I say it every time, still. GTA 5. God of War, 47. Destiny. People love the first. I used to love the second. Used to, being the magic word. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I had this on original Xbox. Nier Automata? I can't even say it. Anyways.
I remember hearing about this game, never saw anything of it.
Yeah, I'm actually wanting to try it out, because it does seem at least pretty decent. But this does always interest me. An action RPG so good that you have to play it at least 3 times.
I don't believe that.
No, there's a reason. The game is completely different each time. Which kind of fucks with you a bit, I've got to say. Chrono Trigger, I'd heard a lot about that RPG. The original Sims. Super Mario Galaxy, fucking hell. What Remains of Edith Finch. Quite surprised that's high up there. Hades. Silent Hill 2, fucking hell. Super Mario Bros. 1991. The original Portal at 35.
Uncharted. Now, they were some good games back in the day.
Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, damn. You know that if you go back to try and play them, Will, you will find that the controls are equally clunky.
Really?
Yeah. I started playing through them again recently. The control scheme just felt very clunky.
The only bad control thing I found is sometimes when you're climbing and you go to do the same sort of jump that you've done from one ledge to another, and instead he decides to just fling himself off the cliff.
Oh, Assassin's Creed syndrome. Yes, I know of it.
Like, you'd be like, right, we're going to do the same thing we've done 100 times. We're going to hold to the right and press the jump button, so you jump from the ledge we're holding to the ledge that's over there. And instead he just launches himself into the abyss.
Exactly. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. This is the first one I had to play even before I got to continue my Phantom Pain. I was sad. But it was actually quite good. Story-wise and mechanics-wise, it's just clunky.
Don't worry, Rory. I see you in 2 days. I can give you a Phantom Pain then.
Ha 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 ha. Cunt. Deus Ex 2000.
I love Deus Ex games, but I haven't played anything before Human Revolution, and I just can't bring myself to go to anything before it, just because of how far back it goes and the massive change in just look at the game.
See, I can deal with looks. It's mechanics that I have to get used to. Shadow of the Colossus. Everyone's heard about it. Outer Wilds. I own this in 3 different places and I've never actually completed it or got past the first 10 minutes. I want to, I just always find something else. Journey, I remember this having like the biggest fucking thing made about it during its time. But yeah, couldn't understand that. The Last of Us Part 2. It was one of those games, to be honest, that it just seemed like completely a lot of people did not enjoy at all. But apparently still one of the best. I'm unsure what they're marking this on though. Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, Minecraft 24. To be
Dude,
fair,
how old is that screenshot? Look at even just like the icons for the items and all that. I feel like they look really old.
they do. It's an older screenshot, 100%.
In the jungle biomes there, so
Yeah, but they've also
as
got the
old as it
handbars
could
and that.
be.
So you're talking probably 2019, 2017, about that time period. Minecraft has sold almost 240 million copies.
I feel like it's more than that.
I'd say so.
I feel like it has to be more than that.
Yeah. More than any other game in history, its lasting impact on player-driven creativity can be seen in every building mode from Fortnite to Fallout. If you
I
say
know
so.
you can build in Fallout, but I don't think you can do
Yeah.
that much. You put down a couple turrets and that's it.
Fucking Bioshock. What a game that was. The first Bioshock was phenomenal. The second weren't bad. Weren't as good as the first at all. Infinite was pretty good. Pretty much on rating, I think most people agree with it, is Bioshock 1, Bioshock Infinite, Bioshock 2. Doom. Yeah, that's whatever.
There you go. Super Mario 64 96.
Yeah. We're getting
There we
number
go.
16. It's only fair. Number 15. Makes sense. Super Mario World. Fucking hell. Ocarina of Time. Disco Elysium. I hear a lot about this game. I've been wanting to try it for a while. Resident Evil 4. And then Half-Life 2 and all the ones that we've just been through. So there is quite a lot of people who did the voting on this. But fair play. It's an interesting topic to discuss. Always is. Anyways, let's move through, shall we? So, Microsoft is apparently planned to, or possibly going to, integrate one of its features over to PC, which it has been doing a few bits and bats over the last couple of years, to be honest. There's a few bits that have come over that have been useful. But apparently, one of the things that they're wanting to implement, as mentioned here, is quick resume. Meaning that you could pick up a game right where you left off, like you can on your Xbox and things like that. If they could make that a fucking feature, the speed that we'd be able to load up our games would then be a lot quicker. And would also mildly annihilate an entire argument thrown at us by Sony fans. Yeah, it's kind of a fun one, that. But yeah, I think it'd be quite interesting, nonetheless. If we could get something like that done, it would be a massive help.
I feel like there'd be a lot of testing need to be done because I
100%.
A lot of the time with a quick load, it's gonna like a lot of stuff's not gonna load properly. It's gonna bust everything.
That's my worry as well. But I'd say that the other big thing is I don't know if you've heard, but Asus ROG are trying to make their own handheld gaming PC system to challenge the Steam Deck. And a lot of people now are trying to shine light that now that it's possible, why don't people give it a shot?
Yeah.
And I think as quick as that comes to be, it could start to hit places such as Nintendo and things like that. 'Cause carrying a gaming PC around that you could connect up to mouse, keyboard, monitors, etc. if you wanted to when you got home to a dock, it makes things.
Imagine just being able to carry your PC back. Like, how terrified would you be
Well,
carrying that around with you? Just the slightest little knockoff of something.
well, that's why they always come with case for that. But my big thing about it is, a lot of people talk about starting PC gaming. They're like, oh, I should get a gaming laptop. My official thought now is it would be cheaper for you to get a Steam Deck and just buy the dock. Because for a good gaming laptop, you're talking £1,500 to get something competent. Now, if you got a Steam Deck on the other hand, you're talking about £700 for that and the dock. Which is the better option? Steam Deck's cheaper and it's probably going to be better to cost performance. Or just do what we did and get a PC.
Yeah.
I don't understand the big thing about laptops, but if you're going to go laptop, go Steam Deck instead. Be a lot better for you.
So expensive as well, and it runs worse.
Yeah.
Like if you were to get, well, what would technically be the same components that you would get in the desktop, they run worse and probably cost 3 times the price.
100% they do.
It's crazy.
Which is why I've been saying for a bit now, Steam Deck, in my opinion, should replace the fucking gaming laptop. It would be the better alternative. Plus, you can take it anywhere and play it anywhere, so always beneficial. But yeah, the feature they're wanting to bring is possibly quick resume, which would be interesting, but it has its drawbacks. Now, Will, do you remember me talking about AI?
Ever so slightly, yes. I remember the whole. They were going to be altering messages.
Yeah, that was in Sony's little thing, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that were a couple of weeks ago now. Industry voices. AI is an essential tool in tackling online hate in gaming. By the head of Gaming Bodyguard AI. Okay, now I've never heard of a biased source as biased as that sounds. Jesus Christ.
So he's going to make an AI that's completely on his beliefs.
Pretty much.
Nice.
Let's just hear what he's got to say, shall we? Hear him out. The e-gaming sector is booming, with the live streaming audience in video gaming expected to reach 1.41 billion by 2025. This has been accelerated by increased interest during lockdown, increased smartphone penetration, and the rise of mobile streamers commanding huge audiences. This guy needs to think about his wording.
What's that even supposed to mean?
Well, that's what baffled me. That's what's kind of baffled me, because usually when we're talking about like penetration in computing, it's usually like pen testing, trying to hack into someone. What the fuck is on about here? I have no idea.
I don't understand.
We're giving you a chance, man, but first paragraph, come on. Second sentence, for fuck's sake. However, online toxicity continues to be a major issue within the gaming community, and the gladiatorial aspects seeming to spill over with an alarming frequency into harassment. Analysis from Unity Games shows that 72% of gamers experience harassment while playing online.
I think that number's too low.
The problems are magnified in online gaming because of the immediacy of interactions. Now, I'm going to be honest. I have fucked with people in online games.
Everyone has.
But now here's my second question. Do you ever take that out of the game?
No. Well, towards you, maybe.
Yeah, towards me, possibly, but like to someone
I'm
you
gonna be
don't
honest,
know.
dude. I'll be honest. When it comes to Rust and that being the toxic game that it is, when there's two people fighting each other and you're like down to your last flipping double barrel, you're trying to just get some kits back, and this guy gets downed by the other guy, and he's sitting down while he's looting him, just shit talking, screaming down his mic, just allows you to run up with your DB unheard because this guy's mic is so ungodly loud and staticky and $5 in Walmart. It makes it so easy to get a play. So like, if you take that out, if you take toxic voice chat out of a game, dude, it's gonna change the way games even play out, man.
But this is the big thing. Like, you see the occasional person who will message you directly on, like, the platform. At which point, you block them. Or, if it's just in game, you mute them.
You know, see when it comes to Steam, dude, I've never actually had anyone message me on Steam just to like shit talk
No.
or anything like that. Like it's genuinely a console thing.
I mean, we went on VR chat a couple months back. If you remember this day, you'll know what I'm talking about. And we joined a US server. And we got into a few debates and arguments, and we were taking the piss, having a laugh about it, usual stuff. Not once did that leave the lobby. It never does. No one will message you directly for it now. You'll just speak there, and once you leave, you will not see that person again. If you do, you're either unlucky or lucky, depending on which side of the argument you're on. But I find that people are just too afraid to hit a block or mute button. I mean, I'm not the best person to talk about this because I don't block anyone. I don't block people at all. I just annoy them until they block me and build a block list.
You feed the fire, Rory.
I do, yeah. I honestly do. But I don't believe that we should all be fucking censored and blocked from saying what we want to say and taking the piss because some people aren't strong enough to use a mute or block button. Why should we change everything for everyone for less than 1% of the gaming community who can't be asked to click a button?
Oh god. I just got done watching the 99% South Park episode, right?
So you just realised what I'm referencing. Sorry, me and Will are currently in like a leading race of South Park.
He's cheating.
I'm not cheating.
He's a dirty little cheater. We should ban him.
Bullshit.
Oh wait, he's already been banned. Lol.
I'm not being banned from anything. Don't know what you're on about. Anyways, within live streams, there are also in-game chat forum. Within live streams, there is also in-game chat forums, and other social channels all engaging at the same time. With the lifespan of an average tweet lasting just 16 minutes and a trained human moderator taking 10 seconds to process just one comment or post, it's apparent just how impossible and thankless a task it is to attempt to moderate the hundreds of thousands of comments every second during a live stream. Cool.
I mean, channels where you actually have time to read messages. Any moderators or whatever that you have typically will have those messages removed before they get posted. And if there's that many people, you don't even get the chance to read a message.
No. Plus, I mean, I have a Twitch account, and I think most people do, but you just look into your Twitch settings, you can set banned words, banned sentences, all sorts.
There's loads of moderations you can do that can block messages from being sent that like either just get straight deleted or have to be approved by a moderator to get sent.
Yeah.
There's so many different options. You can literally I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of preset options, or
Yes,
you can
there's.
just straight up add in just full words that if they are ever said, then the message will be blocked and not sent.
Yeah, there is.
And
And
I'm pretty sure there's probably punishments you can inflict for anyone that tries to send these messages multiple times.
correct.
So they'll get muted or banned from the channel for X amount of time. And the
Yeah, you're right.
second times they do it, it'll happen more and more often. Like the shit they're trying to do here is just completely unnecessary.
I mean, there's also I think it's called like Nightbot, something like that. But basically, it would allow you to actually set up further functions. So, like, if people started spamming, it would just completely mute them for 5 minutes or so. Things like that. But this guy seems to think that the only way to moderate is to just block or ban them or whatever. There are already automated tools for this. We should be allowed to make the decisions on what we want to happen.
I want to know as well is if this does become a thing, like, where is this gonna? Is this gonna be enforced on everyone everywhere, or like, is it
That's
just because like when it comes to servers of different things, whoever owns the server has their own rules, and
yeah,
you could get banned, muted, kicked, whatever for doing something that in another server has no repercussions to it
yeah,
because everyone has their own beliefs, their own rules. Whereas if we all have to live under one person who believes one thing, like that's never ended well in the history of
no.
life. So
I mean, we'll take my personal server's rules. Number one, be a cunt. Number two, have fun. Number three, don't cross the lines and get us banned from Discord, please. Number four, play some bloody games already, I'm getting bored of writing these. Number five, really, you're still here. Number six, go away. Like, that's it. That is my entire server's rules. But in other servers, you said half the things that other people say. It's like, yeah, you're gonna get banned in an instant. There are different rules for different places. I don't believe that everyone should be enforced to be one way or another because XYZ said so.
yeah, and if
It's
it's an
unfair.
AI that's going to be doing it, like they
Yeah,
have no way of fighting it. And AI, let's be honest, because AI is programmed by us, it's going to be flawed because we're flawed. And so there's going
exactly.
to be things that you get banned or kicked or whatever for that
Exactly.
are of no reason because the AI has decided to see it as something that it's not because
100%.
that's how it's programmed and it just creates even more problems.
Yeah, you're perfectly right, mate. I mean, if we keep reading, I've actually just read ahead a little, but um, during a live stream, tackling toxicity in gaming matters as the industry is built on player experience and engagement. If this is threatened because the gamers feel unsafe or unsupported, they may leave, and if the community disappears, then then is there really a game anymore? I'm just gonna quickly address this bit though. Why would people feel unsafe online? It's the internet.
Yeah.
Not everyone is a fucking tier 10 fucking nerd hacker. you know, no one,
The odds of
90% of people.
running anyone
Go on,
who
sorry.
is like hacking, dude, and like actually getting people's IPs and doing whatever with them and trying to get any sort of credit information, they're not playing games, dude. They're in online chat rooms trying to get people to give information or fake advertisements, stuff like that. They're not in a game. That would take so long
Yeah,
for them to get anything.
they're busy sending your grandparents emails trying to get them to click links.
Yeah,
That's
like
the sort of shit they're doing.
it's not gonna happen in a game, man.
The people who can get your address, yes, they're smart, but they're smart enough to realize that if they send it you, you should stop being a little cunt. Because as sad as it is to admit, 9 out of 10% that actually have this done to them is because they've pissed someone off because they're acting like a brat. Don't act like a prick to people. Just give common decency. That's all it takes. And also, unsupported. It's a video game. Focus on yourself and your friends. Take the piss, have some fun. Stop feeling like you need to be number one all the time.
Yeah,
Fuck's sake.
I'd like to also point out, like, in terms of people leaving, no one needs to leave. There's admins, moderators, anything on almost every game, especially if the games are ran on servers. There's always some sort of admin or moderator that will remove anyone that's like taking it over the top in terms of toxicity and being hateful. And that's the only kind of people need to be removed, and they typically get removed these days
Oh, yeah.
because of how the world is and all these new rules. We'll call them.
Yeah, I'd
Not
admit,
going
I'd
into
agree with that.
too much detail. So it's very easy for someone to get themselves removed, and because it's all in logs as well. If it's ever text chat, it's all in logs, which typically in a lot of games it is because you're not always near the player. You know, it's
Yeah,
typically you're going to be typing it in text chat because you'll not hear each other. So it's easy to go back and check if the person making a report of someone being hateful or toxic, they can see what they wrote and then make a decision off there if they need to be removed.
exactly. It's not as difficult as this guy's making it out to be. But this is the part that's worrying. AI has a bad rap in the media in recent times, but an automated moderation system has to work in tandem with human moderators if the online gaming industry is to thrive. For instance, some moderation solutions, such as Bodyguard.ai, the guy who's writing this is part of them, allow you to filter significant volumes of comments in seconds, such as across Twitch, YouTube, Discord chat rooms, in-game chat, forums, fan communities, and other social platforms. Combined with a human team focused on building community through their experience and engagement, this is a very powerful approach.
It's not what we just explained about how
Yeah.
Twitch has literal. You can just type in what words you want banned.
Yeah.
Is
Now,
that not literally what we just talked about?
Twitch has that. YouTube has that. A lot of chat rooms have it. In-game chat has the 9 times out of 10 has the what's it called? Expletives fucking filter.
Yeah. Where it turns it into castraces instead
Yeah.
of the words. Yeah.
Fan communities have similar. Most social media platforms has this sort of stuff.
The only place
Discord.
that doesn't have it is DMs
Yep.
and like friendly servers. It's like just a few people that do things together. Unless they
Yeah.
go ahead and set it up themselves, then typically there'll be no sort of moderation. But that's because it's a group of friends. It doesn't need to be, you know.
Exactly. Now, what I'd like to just quickly hit, considering I've got access to a server and I own it and everything, it's like, why not? I can just take a quick poke at this, see if I can find it. Because I might have actually been removed from it because of I gave up my ownership recently. Here it is. Safety setup. So this is how you can set up everything for your server on Discord. Auto mod, you can set it up to block spam, spam messages, flagged words, custom words. That's an auto moderator. So that's technically AI, but it does its own thing. So you can remove risky permissions for everyone, require two-factor authentication for moderators, DM and spam protection, and then raid protection and capture. All that just for a Discord server. So, it's a lot better than it used to be. I don't believe that AI is as needed as they're pushing it to be. These smaller bits, like what we've got set up now, it's basically just a program constantly checking for set words. That's all it is.
You combine that with just a couple of people that moderate the stuff,
Yeah,
and typically you don't really have any issues.
exactly.
And if you do get falsely banned, you just make a ticket and usually gets resolved.
100%, mate. I feel like this is more of just someone trying to push the furtherment of AI in this. Users are provided with an easy-to-use single solution capable of providing a detailed analysis of any gaming community, spanning all player behavior and interactions. Not only does this allow organizations to reward positive behavior through comprehensive insight and the ability to filter on specific categories, but it will also allow action to be automatically taken against those sharing toxic content. Importantly, it frees up time for community managers, games developers, players, and gaming leagues to focus on building and playing the games they love. But I feel like if you let this fucking just run, one, you've got way too much information, more than you'll ever need, and two, where is the limit that they are going to fucking stop punishing people and start punishing people? What is the difference?
Everyone will be banned.
Exactly. I'm upset one night, so I used the word fuck out of anger. I'm now banned from 5 servers.
Yeah.
What's the fucking fairity in that? Importantly, AI can be trained to recognize culture and context and recognize an enthusiastic but not safe for work response to a win or loss versus a hateful or toxic comment directed at an individual designed to inflict harm or hurt. You're saying AI could recognize this? I would like to propose a test. Will, if we were to work by everyone else's standard, how toxic would we be classified to each other?
Oh God. We'd be imprisoned.
Yeah. Now, this is saying that it's any sort of hateful or toxic comment directed to an individual designed to inflict harm or hurt. Now, you and me being how we are, if we were in a public server, we would get banned. But this AI cannot take into comprehension our friendship and the way it works.
Yeah.
Banning us for no fucking reason. Such a dumb thing. This should not be overlooked as part of a gaming experience. Being passionate and vocal is not the same as discrimination and hatred, and it is vital to have space for the former and take out the latter. Online
Again,
games.
going back to your point after that sentence, going back to your point of talking about how it draws the line. Like whenever you're just having a shitty day gaming and you get killed again, and you're just fucking having a go, just saying fuck. Like, is that gonna get you banned, or like how is it gonna justify?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? It's hard to say when it's exactly going to kick off.
That's the problem with AI when it
Yeah.
comes to dealing with humans. Like we can AI doing anything that humans do is great because it can do it with precision, but when it comes to dealing with humans themselves, like unless you can program it to be a human.
Yeah. Online games live and die with their communities. These powerful communities are what attracts new fans. Without good moderation, the online gaming ecosystem is at risk. With automation and strong community managers, it can be a place where communities flourish and grow. If this was true, the old Call of Duty games would not still be running on community servers. That's all I have to say about that. Now, I feel like we've actually hit quite a lot of this. Gaming and AI are the future of education. But just to sum this up simply, they're planning to use a lot more with esports being used to educate children with disabilities, things such as that, as well as artificial intelligence to help assist. That's what this is basically going over. Steam Deck versus Asus ROG. to sum up the actual major differences between these, other than the controls being a little bit different and things like that, the Asus ROG is actually, the specs are better than the Steam Deck. It's set to be more powerful.
I feel like this is just going to be PlayStation versus Xbox all over again, dude.
Well, these are the specs, like. So, it's a bit smaller. Same playing time.
A little bit less.
Weighs a bit less, yeah. Pretty much the same so far. It's got an LCD display instead of an IPS display. Has a higher resolution, 1920 by 1080 compared to the Steam Deck's 1280 by 800p.
Oh my god! As small as the screen as you are, like
yeah,
that size of resolution, like 1920 by 1080 feels a little extreme.
this might pull it a bit though, because it's running Windows 11 instead of a dedicated version of Linux. Linux isn't as performance intensive. Now, yeah, you can install Windows on a Steam Deck, but it's better to run it in the Linux operating system that it's come with. So, a bit silly of an idea, but hey, well. But yeah, those two, basically the major difference. It's a bit more powerful, runs on Windows 11, and has a custom AMD chip. Whereas Steam Deck, easier choice, it's public access, you know everything that you're getting with it, and everything's going to work easily. This one, to be honest, the reasons I actually brought these ones up, because I just wanted to mention and talk about briefly Tears of the Kingdom's launch. Apparently, the launch has actually gone relatively well. There's not much of an issue at all with it. A lot of people seem to be loving it. Well, it's same with every fucking Legend of Zelda game, to be honest. People do love those games, as you can see. Jesus, that queue. But no, it's what a lot of people have been waiting for a while, and according to this, Breath of the Wild has a score of 97 out of 100 based on critic reviews, and a user score of 8.7 out of 10. Wonder what the score is at the moment then. 96. I'm comparing that. What was it again? 97. So one off. That's not bad. Doesn't seem like it hit far away from what it originally did. So seems like the game must be doing well. It's always nice to see. Here we go. Unreal Engine. Oh. Unreal Engine update could fix PC games and make gaming MacBooks more likely. Epic Games, a company behind Fortnite, has updated its Unreal Engine tool that's used in so many of the best PC games around. I don't fully agree with that, but an engine's up to the company that makes it, so their choices, what they use. And it could help reverse the recent trend of messy PC ports while also making Apple's MacBooks and Macs more appealing to gamers.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
To be honest, I'm kind of baffled by it, because seeing as we've now got a distribution of Linux that can run most of these games, and Apple runs on Unix, you'd expect that they'd be able to link together in some shape or form.
I honestly don't know why people still buy anything Apple related, man, because you have to pay for literally everything.
Yeah, I don't like Apple personally, but that is me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, my friend.
um, do they actually state the reason? Ah, here it is. The good news is that Unreal Engine 8 5.2 is coming. The upcoming version of the tool comes with various improvements to reduce and even eliminate stuttering. This includes an improved PSO pre-caching system. Stuttering can occur if a game engine tries to load content and it's not ready. Using pipeline state object PSO to cache any shaders ahead of them being needed aims to reduce instances of stuttering, also known as hitching. So basically, it's a lot of stability and performance updates. So it should just help to smoothen the time while you're playing the game, etc. Should help to remove some of the issues that we've been seeing in the past couple of months. Now, the final article I have for us before I ask the question I always ask. Pushing buttons, building a gaming PC is painstaking and humbling. I can't wait to do it again.
Terrifying.
They're all good fun. I wouldn't call it painstaking, but it definitely does take some knowledge and a bit of effort to put in. In this week's newsletter, consoles are plug and play, but starting from scratch gave me a new appreciation for everything that goes into making games. Next week, I am going to build a gaming PC. I've done it once before and wrote an article about... Oh, thanks Google. No one cares. Sorry about that. And wrote an article about what nightmare the process was. Although the issue turned out to be with the USB stick I used to install the motherboard update patch, and, well, don't get me started. The thing is, I figured it out because when you have played PC games for as long as I have, you know that figuring technical stuff out is a key part of the experience. I'll be honest, I work in technical support currently, and half the shit I know and how to fix many of the issues I've come across is my time playing games. You fix an issue when it occurs, you learn something new, and it's just a part of me that I find enjoyable. While games consoles have always been pure plug and play experiences, PC games have definitely not. When I started playing in the early 1990s, they came on multiple floppy disks. The Secret of Monkey Island was on 8, and you had to keep swapping them in and out of a drive, like feeding I'm not saying that word. Robot. Thank you. Something along them lines. Ferocious robot. Not that you necessarily bought complete games back then. I first played Wolfenstein 3D when my friend got the first couple of levels free on a magazine cover disc. That's how a lot of games were distributed. But the famed shareware model, once you'd played the sample, you were supposed to contact the publisher to get the full game sent to you. Comparatively few people had the internet back then, so as a distribution model, it made a lot more sense. It's rumoured that once more copies of the shareware version of Doom, pictured below, on PCs, there were more. Yeah, once there were... I'm screwing up my eyes here. That there were once more copies of the shareware version of Doom pictured below on PCs than there were copies of Microsoft Windows 95. That was just another oddity of being a PC gamer, having drawer fill with magazines of front cover discs crammed with shareware and public domain minigames. I'm just quickly seeing here. Right. It took him 3 paragraphs, but he got to the point. What I'm trying to say is PC gamers have to be tinkerers.
What the hell was he talking about the whole time?
He was just rambling about floppy disk 95 MS-DOS,
Jesus.
DirectX.
Why can people just not get to the point?
I know, right? Oh. What I'm trying to say is that PC gamers have to be tinkerers, and this has always been the case. It's a different sort of relationship than console gamers. Even before I built my first PC, I knew about the basic structure of the machine, the role of the motherboard as a sort of nerve center, the CPU as brain, and then the system memory, the hard drive, the graphics processor. I knew how they interpreted, I knew how to install drivers. I secretly like this process, even though it's often frustrating. I like the camaraderie it creates between gamers as they desperately attempt to solve each other's hardware incompatibilities. I like that people are so incredibly invested in their builds and the craft that went into them, like car fanatics or wine connoisseurs. It's very true, to be honest. Even now, when we have digital stores such as Steam and Epic to manage the streamlined process, PC gamers still need to get their hands dirty. You have to configure the performance parameters of a new title to align with your own specific PC build. Does your machine support high dynamic range lighting? Can it run 4K? Is switching ray tracing on going to slow everything down to a grind? I have to partially disagree with this. Um, no,
You
what
do
he's
know what your PC can run once you've had it long enough, which that may
yeah,
end not needing to be very long.
correct. What I find primarily, if I'm brutally honest, is that most games nowadays run on the system that it will automatically detect what it finds to be best. And most of the times, all you'll do is you'll quick go into the settings and increase your frame rate from 60 to 144 or higher if you can. That's about it.
Quickly disable motion blur because for some reason they're still
Yes,
making that.
Jesus Christ, do us a favor as an entire industry, turn that off as default.
Just remove the option.
Yeah,
Who
that's even
plays with
better.
motion blur on? And if you do,
Oh,
why?
yeah. Who
I
are
need
you
answers to
torturing?
this. I need answers to this. If you play with motion blur on, why do you play with it on?
Who
For
are you
what
trying to make
reason?
suffer? It's clearly you do not care about the people. Uh, Knowing the limits of the machine you built or painstakingly ordered from a site that builds them for you teaches you a bit about the complexity of game development process. How sometimes things just don't work, and and there could be a million reasons why. Conversely, this little degree of technical knowledge also makes PC owners incredibly exacting and demanding consumers. The past year has seen several major publishers struggling with the PC builds of their latest titles. The Last of Us, Forspoken, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and the recent Redfall all had PC versions that were cursed with bugs and performance issues.
I don't think that's people's PC builds. That's the problem
Yeah,
here.
once again, I think we covered this last week. These guys are experts. They've built games many a times before for PC, yet all of a sudden they're having issues with pretty much what's already been in the market.
Like when the new 40 series cards came out and the games are struggling to run on them, which these fucking things are absolute beasts and they're also absolutely humongous. I don't think new games should be struggling on them.
No. Um, Incandescent player review bombed. Players review bombed score aggregation
Aggregation.
sites. Yeah, and saturated forums with social media and raging list of complaints. Developers will often point to the complexity of the PC space with the sheer variety of hardware builds they have to support and optimize for, but often the feeling that PC gamers are being shortchanged with poor ports of games that have been built with PS5 and Xbox Series X in mind. It's a complicated and humbling process of owning a PC, As its components age, your system gradually slips down the ranks from cutting edge to minimum required performance. You can upgrade parts, of course, but it will eventually become easier to move on and start from scratch. I sometimes get pangs of guilt looking at the graveyard of old PCs and components littering my games room. These were my proudest possessions once. The Pentium One, the Pentium I discovered The Sims and Half Life on, the first PC I owned that could run the original Far Cry at a decent rate. They're useless now, fit only for the recycling center, and with them will go the gamer I once was. There's something existential about it, as someone said. When you stare into your PC technical specifications, your PC technical specifications also stare into you. What the fuck?
I feel like this would be something you could probably agree with, Roy, seeing as how much you know and do in terms of PC parts. What he said there is definitely true with older stuff, but with the newer stuff, it lasts a lot longer now.
Yeah,
Like you may not be getting like a million frames on the best settings with everything on ultra and so on and so forth, but it'll be decent at the very least for quite a while.
yeah. I personally think, to be honest, that a lot of devs that have been coming out and well, this is the big thing that has been getting to me lately and irritating me quite a bit. Not a single developer that has actually come out and delayed the games or had any issues with these games have actually come out and said straight up that the PC is difficult to develop for. It's not been said by them. It's what people are inferring from the bad PC ports. But once again, I go back to the point of they've been doing this for many years now. And all of a sudden, they're having issues when consoles are now close to PCs than they ever were before. It does not make actual sense, realistically. I just think, for the most of it, it's because, if we're brutally honest here, consoles are where they're pretty much going to get the vast majority of their income, because it's where a lot of the basic people who play them are going to be. And on top of that, a lot of the major companies are going to pay them for it. You know, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, you get an exclusive with one of them, they're going to pay you fucking mills. So what do they have to worry about at that point? They don't. So why focus on a PC release when you can just get something like that nailed out? I don't take what I'm saying as gospel or truth at any point. It's just an opinion of mine. But I don't understand how devs that have been literally trained to do this can start complaining about the difficulty of the job. We all have difficulties in our job. If we do not hit our targets at work, we're going to get chewed out by our boss. It's not then the fucking employee's responsibility to go, oh yeah, but the software that we've been using every day for however many years is difficult to do. You've got the training, you need to get on with it. Like any other job, you can't complain your way out of it. Simple as that. Might be a bit degrading to the developers to hear, but you've got a job to do, like everyone else. And that's all there is to it, in my opinion. Don't know what you'd have to say to that, Will, but
People need to stop complaining so much about it. Like I have a 2060 and an i5, dude, and I can run new games. Maybe not at a spectacular site, but I can run them where they're good enough to play.
yeah.
So things are definitely improving.
I can
Like
understand
things are
that.
as sinister as that guy was saying. Like they were at one point. But honestly, it's just the engines. I feel like is whatever they're doing on the engines for when they're creating games, because 2023 has just been such a flop for new releases, as we've seen and discussed over the amount of weeks that we've been doing this for.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks from now, it has been.
Well, that'll be our 20th episode, so that'll be what?
About 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, something around that. About 4.5 months, I'd say.
Yeah. So, we've been at this for a bit now, and we've been pushing through and reporting on it as we have. And we started in January this year. And it seems like since January onwards, it's just been kind of like a slow tumble. So, you know what I'm going to do before we finish for the day? I'm going to recommend a new game. A game coming out by a small development company that I think people may have an interest in. I think that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to pull this up because apparently Paradox has got a sale on. Right, here we are. I'm going to share my screen with you as well, Will. Might not be your cup of tea, but I reckon it's just an interesting one. So this game is called Shadows of Doubt. It is a sandbox detective stealth game set in a fully simulated sci-fi neo city of crime and corruption. You are a private investigator. You basically get to create this board dependent on an entire case that you have to work. And you've got to try and find out who killed someone or who you need to steal something from, so on and so forth. And every time you start a new game, the city is completely randomly generated. The missions are randomly generated, as are the people. So every time it's a completely different game. On top of that, you can't personally kill anyone. You can knock them unconscious, but you cannot kill them yet. Yet. I have to say yet, because this game has not been out for long. It's not even in 1.0 release. It's £16. It was released on the 24th of April. 48 hours, 24th.
Oh, yeah.
And it's already got a roadmap of what they're going to get out this year alone. And they're seeming...
I'm guessing that's when you can kill people.
That's what I'm thinking, honestly. But you can go in vents and shit. Through the buildings.
I saw him vent. He's the imposter.
The world lives on with or without you. And I just think it's such a clever game. And it's so clever what it's doing, but it's just so interesting simultaneously. And you can have a lot of fun with it.
You can play pool.
Yeah, I did. So, yeah. That is my small recommendation of a game for people to try out. That I genuinely think people will have fun with. And maybe it'll just give you something to look forward to for this bit of the year that's remaining. As sad as it is to say, we are lacking.
Yeah.
So, something is better than nothing.
We're getting closer and closer to halfway through the year already, and it's not been good at all so far.
No. We need something. And so far that is like the best thing I've come across that I actually have enjoyed. But yes, other than that, is there anything you'd like to discuss, Will?
I suppose we should quickly send a reminder that there will be a special episode next week.
Yes, there will indeed.
It will be an absolute shit show, probably a total flop, and there will be tons of chaos involved.
It absolutely fucking will be.
One of us might not turn up. They could be either imprisoned or dead.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Find out next week.
And with that said, we'll end the episode there. Anyways, guys.
It's a cliffhanger if I've ever seen one.
Oh yeah, biggest fucking cliffhanger we've had. But yeah, we hope you will all join us for next week. It'll be interesting to see. And we hope to see you all then. Bye for now.
See you later, guys.